A new season, a new era of college football with an expanded 12-team playoff, conference realignments, and players and coaches switching teams like it's a game of musical chairs.
It's the new norm in college football, which is crazy to say.
Tonight, the Irish begin their quest for another national championship.
This offense is really versatile, and it's really explosive.
A top 20 matchup in one of the most hostile environments in college football.
It's a hornet's nest. I mean, it is loud, chaotic, warm. It's a very, very difficult, hostile place to function.
Armed with a new offensive coordinator, a new quarterback who knows a thing or two about the Aggies head coach.
It's interesting and weird and not really something I want to do.
Not to mention, one of the most dangerous defenses in the country.
Definitely want to come out there and just dominate.
Notre Dame versus Texas A&M.
Hoping College Station, SEC country, 12th man, we hear it all. We're excited for it.
It's going to be a dogfight on Saturday, and I can't wait to play.
This is ABC57 Kickoff, live on the road, presented by Afdent Dental, with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
The party has officially started, y'all. Nearly everywhere you look, there are fans on the campus of Texas A&M. College game day is here. ABC57 Kickoff is here as Notre Dame and Texas go head-to-head in prime time. Welcome to ABC57. Howdy, I'm Allison Hayes.
And giddy up, I'm Vahid Sadrazadeh. Yeehaw! We got a great one for you tonight. Over 100,000 screaming fans. Some Notre Dame, they made the trip. We can't confirm. Inside Kyle Field tonight, a top 20 matchup. Allison, this is set to be one of the biggest games of the entire season.
The atmosphere here in College Station has been amazing. I mean, everyone here has been so friendly. We know it's going to be hostile in there tonight, but the whole time that we've been in this town, the fans have been accommodating. They've been friendly and welcoming. It's been a really great experience.
And you can tell they sold us on a few items as well that we'll get to here later on in the show. But let's start with some X's and O's and the game itself. The Irish actually coming into this game, Allison, slight underdogs tonight. Just 2.5-point dogs. But with all of the changes to college football, players entering the transfer portal and coaches moving around as well, getting ready for a matchup like this is not what it used to be like. Aggies head coach Mike Elko, of course, Notre Dame fans will know his name, said he watched at least 8 different teams to get ready for this matchup here tonight.
Yeah, definitely a new normal in college football. And because of that, it really sets up a really interesting reunion here in Mike Elko and in Irish quarterback Riley Leonard. Of course, they are going to be facing off former quarterback versus former head coach tonight in this game. And for more on that connection, we bring in our Levon Whitaker, who joins us now outside of Kyle Field.
Well, howdy, y'all. Yeah, as you said, this isn't just the first time that Riley Leonard and Mike Elko will be on different sidelines. It's also the first time that these two guys will see each other since they both decided to leave Duke. And I got to say, I think that head coach of the Aggies, Mike Elko, summed up this entire situation pretty darn good using just one word, calling it weird. Reunited.
Kind of wish there'd be any other quarterback on the other side for the opener.
But on opposite sides of the field.
To be able to play against him, it's awesome. And we're all extremely competitive, so obviously this game means a lot to me.
Who would have guessed we'd be here after Notre Dame's comeback win on the road last season at Duke?
You want to try to go free or you want to hand it off?
When the Irish delivered a late gut punch to the former Blue Devils coach Mike Elko and quarterback Riley Leonard, who also suffered an ankle injury in the same game during the final minutes. Leonard played 2 seasons for Elko, developing into the dual-threat quarterback we know he is today. He passed for nearly 4,500 yards and threw 24 touchdowns at Duke. He even ran for over 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns, averaging more than 5 yards per carry.
He obviously played a huge role in our success at Duke and in a lot of ways me getting this job here at Texas A&M.
But when Elko became the Aggies head coach, Leonard packed his bags, entered the transfer portal, and Notre Dame made the call.
As soon as Notre Dame reaches out, you don't really turn that
you don't turn them down. So I knew immediately that this was the place for me.
The Irish were looking for a playmaker to run their offense.
He's one of those magnetic personalities that people like to follow.
Leonard would miss the spring due to injuries, but quickly won over his new team with his talent.
He could zip that ball, he could put it in place, he put it right on you.
Work ethic.
He's the ultimate competitor. He's a baller. He brings passion every day.
And competitiveness.
He's begging me to go live. I'm like, guy, you just missed all spring. Like, we're not going live.
Since arriving in South Bend, the elephant in the room has been, how can Riley help the Irish plan for Mike Elko and everything he plans to throw at Notre Dame?
He's going to do everything he possibly can to make sure that he has the upper hand on me for the rest of his life.
The experience Riley has with Mike Elko, playing against his defense when they were at Duke, is something we could discuss.
Make no doubt about it. The respect, it runs deep on both ends.
I don't want to make it about me versus him.
But it is hard to avoid the obvious.
It's going to be that way, but I'd rather it be, Notre Dame versus A&M.
Well, listen, you got to get your popcorn ready. This is going to be a great game. Mike Elko is a defensive-minded coach. That's what he's known for. And before becoming the head coach here at Texas A&M, he was also the defensive coordinator, and he was also the DC for the Irish under Brian Kelly back in the day. So, listen, a lot of history, not just between Elko and Leonard, but between these two teams, Allison and Vahid.
Well, Levon, so much is being made about Elko and Riley Leonard. He kind of downplayed it in that press conference when we talked to him, but he did say it is important.
Yeah, it really is, and he says he doesn't want to make it about him and Elko, but it's hard to avoid the obvious, as I said before. And he says that he thinks Elko has the upper hand on him because he molded him into the quarterback he is today. Elko believes that Leonard has the upper hand on him because he knows how he wants to run the offense and the defense. So it's going to be interesting at 7:30 tonight.
All right, thanks, Levon. We'll check in with you again here very soon. Leonard isn't the only new face to the Notre Dame offense. The Irish also brought in Mike Denbrock as the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's right. This is his third stint at Notre Dame. Denbrock had the top scoring offense last season at LSU. And, of course, he produced a Heisman Trophy winner in Jaden Daniels. Don't expect the Irish to abandon the run game tonight or all season, which is a part of their DNA. But Denbrock says they are loaded with weapons.
We've got some pieces. We've got some people up front. We got some people on the perimeter. We got some people throwing it. We got some people catching it. We're going to continually get better.
Well, the tight end room is also healthy for the first time in a long time after dealing with some injuries last season. And for the first time, there's a little bit of chatter about that wide receiving room, who also have a new coach in Mike Brown.
Yeah, that's right. And get this, a Notre Dame wide receiver hasn't had more than 500 yards in a season since Kevin Austin in 2021, and they haven't had a receiver with 1,000 yards since Chase Claypool back in 2019.
Well, spoiler alert, all right? We maybe should have this on Levon's parlays later on, but I think a wide receiver, maybe Chris Mitchell, gets that done here this season.
Yeah, definitely a loaded wide receiver room and some talent we haven't seen in many, many years. Well, we are just getting started here at ABC57 Kickoff. Here's a sneak peek. We got a fan even coming in, student here from Texas A&M. We won't kick her out just yet, but we have much more to come here on ABC57 Kickoff.
From the midnight yell to the home of the 12th man, everything is bigger in Texas, including game day traditions.
Spells howdy. He's ready. He's ready to go.
Found it.
The chance to make a statement or a wasted opportunity.
Our approach to the season hasn't changed.
Coach Freeman's focus heading into the season opener and why he thinks an expanded playoff helps Notre Dame. Plus,
I think this favors Elko a little bit, being a defensive coach and having seen Leonard's tendencies.
Ask the experts. Paul Finebaum gives us his take on tonight's game.
It's
it's going to be a crazy environment. For me, like, I love situations like that where it's hostile, you know, people are screaming at you. Like, that just gets me going.
My mindset is just, like, be a kid again, enjoy this. Obviously, I've played in a bunch of big games with a bunch of loud crowds, and we've been practicing with the speakers, so I think I'm very prepared for it, and really just excited more than anything.
Well, College Station is just waking up to a huge Saturday here at Kyle Field, and you know, they like to go big in the state of Texas, and this stadium is no exception. Allison, we pulled up, and you could see it from miles away. I mean, what a sight.
Absolutely. Built in 1904. It's not only the oldest stadium in the SEC, it's the biggest stadium in the SEC and the biggest stadium in the entire state of Texas. And with a capacity of 103,000 plus, the tradition of the 12th man has grown to legendary status.
Welcome to the home of the 12th man.
The student section is the 12th man.
A nickname for the Texas A&M student body.
We are one team. One family. One huge family. We're ready to go in if they need it.
The Aggies cheer so loudly, it makes opponents feel like there is an extra player on the field.
It's so much fun to get out there and scream with your buddies and just go crazy and just have a great time and cheer on your Aggies.
But the 12th man is more than just a moniker.
You'll see every single student at our home football game showing up and standing the whole time.
It also symbolizes their readiness to take the field if needed.
On January the 2nd, 1922, an Aggie named E. King Gill was in the stand.
As legend has it, Texas A&M was playing Center College in the Cotton Bowl. Riddled with injuries, the Aggies head coach feared he wouldn't have enough players to finish the game.
Coach Bible summoned King Gill out of the stand to suit up and be prepared to play. Thus, King Gill became the 12th man and sparked the legend that endures until this day.
The sound record at Kyle Field has reached 126 decibels, equivalent to a jet engine, making the environment a nightmare for opposing teams.
Historically, we've seen increase in offsides by the other team and false starts and delay of games because of the noise and the sound in Kyle Field.
Communication issues with the quarterback and his coaches and things of that nature, and not being able to hear your coaches and your players is something that you don't really get at too many stadiums throughout the country.
What are you guys doing to prepare for the sound, the atmosphere there?
You know, it's so loud you can't even use your coach to player microphone speaker. We'll show them examples of what it's like to play there, right? In videos and in different ways, because you want them to be prepared. We're very intentional about piping in crowd noise, piping in some of the music that they play, their fight songs, some of the chants, and just showing our guys, hey, this is what to expect on Saturday.
The Aggies will certainly bring the noise against Notre Dame, but no matter what happens on the field, the cheers of the 12th man can be heard long after the last snap.
Every one of you can be a 12th man if you stand up for what's right and be ready to serve. And these traditions will grow more valuable to you as you get older. So it's my wish here today that you preserve these traditions.
Now, on top of that, the Aggies have picked a player to wear the number 12 every year since 1990. It's always a walk-on player, which I love. And this year, the honor went to a defensive lineman. His name is Nana Bodie Owusu. So very cool tradition.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see it live in person here tonight.
Now, back in the 80s, Texas A&M had what they called a 12-man kickoff team made up solely of walk-ons. And one of their most memorable plays was against the Irish in the 1988 Cotton Bowl. One of the Aggies stole Heisman Trophy winner Tim Brown's towel. He then tackled the guy and a fight broke out between the teams. The Irish eventually lost that game 35-10, and that one has gone down in history for the Aggies.
Hopefully we won't see that result here tonight. We are asking the experts on the other side what they think. A man who knows all about the Southeastern Conference, the SEC. We talk with none other than ESPN's Paul Finebaum about tonight's matchup. Plus,
we have to make sure we have a great plan now for that transition period of post-game 12 to the first round of the college football playoffs, because you can't wait until you are for certain you've earned that opportunity.
A new era of college football calls for a new plan. What Coach Freeman had to say about the new playoff expansion during my one-on-one.
It's definitely a new era of college football with all the different changes that are taking place this season. What do you see maybe as the advantages, disadvantages when you look at conference realignment, the 12-team playoff and those changes?
We look at it as a great opportunity for us, right? The more opportunity you have to make the playoff, the better it is for our football program and our university. And so, we have to focus on taking care of business, right? And that our approach to the season hasn't changed, right? We know we have to develop the depth of our team because there's a chance you can play up to 4 more games after your last game of the regular season. But our approach to this season doesn't change.
Can you imagine hosting here in December? How amazing could that be?
That could be exciting. And yes, the weather is one thing that could definitely be an advantage, but having a home playoff game, the crowd, the atmosphere, our fans, that's going to be something special.
Now that new 12-team playoff puts a whole new spin on college football this season, and here's how it breaks down. Take a look at this. The teams will still be ranked by a committee, but the playoff will have the 5 highest-ranked conference champions and 7 at-large teams.
And the 4 highest-ranked conference champs will be seeded 1 through 4. They will have first-round byes and advance straight to the quarterfinals.
Now the Irish will never be ranked higher than 5th since they are independent, but they will always have that bye. It's just a week earlier. It's the week of the conference championships. And if they are ranked higher than 9th, they will host their first round playoff game in South Bend, and I can't wait. I hope that happens. Notre Dame Stadium in December. Ooh, let's go.
Brr! Of course, the other big change this season, the conference realignment. You touched on it during your conversation one-on-one with head coach Marcus Freeman. 15 in all teams switch conferences this year. The Big Ten adding Oregon, UCLA, USC, and Washington. Oklahoma and Texas moving to the SEC. The Big 12 picking up Arizona, ASU, Colorado, and Utah. And the SEC adding a pair of West Coast flavor, Cal, Stanford, and Southern Methodist University.
Yeah, and right out of the gate, Notre Dame, the Irish have a tough test on the road, maybe their toughest test of the entire season, right here at Texas A&M.
And right out of the gate, Allison, the Irish have that tough road here at Kyle Field. I had a chance to go one-on-one with ESPN's Paul Finebaum about this top 20 matchup and what he thinks of Notre Dame's playoff chances in this new playoff format.
So rarely do you see a coach leave a job and a quarterback leave a school and have them meeting. Most of the time they go together, which is so unusual about this. I think this favors Elko a little bit, being a defensive coach and having seen Leonard's tendencies every day in practice. Now, Leonard obviously is familiar as well. So I think advantage A&M there, but other than that, it's just a phenomenal matchup. And I've been to Kyle Field a lot of times on a Saturday night, and especially Saturday night. I mean, it's a great place on an afternoon, but there's something about this place at night. And I think Notre Dame fans who have been everywhere in college football, obviously, are going to be in for a treat.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Leonard was one of the more highly touted players in the transfer portal in the offseason. Do you think Notre Dame made the right move by bringing him in? And how do you think he does in front of 100,000+ people in the 12th man at Kyle Field?
He's a really good player, but I have a few question marks about the environment. You don't see that in the ACC. It's not just a loud stadium. It's not just a big stadium. It's a very intimidating stadium. I mean, it's so tall. And I mean, these are fans as well that are, I mean, you hear the cliche, they're pretty hungry. I mean, they are desperate. They've been on hard times lately, and they're ready to turn it around. And they think they can turn it around with one win over Notre Dame.
And who do you think wins this game? Who does it favor?
I think the advantage goes to Texas A&M. I mean, they have so many really difference makers on that line. Listen, I am really big on Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame, win or lose, is probably going to make the playoffs this year. I'm a fan of Marcus Freeman. But much to the dismay of your audience, I like A&M to win this game.
Love him or hate him, Paul Finebaum is polarizing. I'm going to say there's a lot of Notre Dame fans that might be hating him today, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, he has been tough on Notre Dame over the years. Overall, it was a great conversation with Paul. We talked about that playoff system, Notre Dame's upcoming opponents this season, that conference realignment that we talked about. He, of course, had a lot to say about Notre Dame's independence as well, and Allison will have a lot more coming up this season.
Well, win in Texas, we bought in all in here in the big state, and it's been quite the road trip so far for us, and we're still just hours away now from kickoff. When we come back, though, we're going to see what happened when we check out some of what College Station has to offer. Stick around.
Irish invasion.
Why is he here? No, he's just here.
This is criminal. But we're off to the airport.
Howdy, partner.
Here we go.
Information.
One leg down, one leg to go. Well, I miss you guys already. Good job.
Houston, then College Station, because everything is bigger in Texas.
Who do you got?
Who do you think, really? I'm traveling from Chicago to College Station. Who do you think I got?
Go Irish.
Come with me as we fly United to Houston.
Welcome to Houston.
Welcome to Houston.
We are at Cavender's Boot City. Come on, y'all.
There's an H for Hayes. Just rodeoing. That sounds good to me.
Hook 'em horns.
It smells like leather when you walk in. It's everything in here you could possibly need or imagine.
Me and Vahid got the initials.
Should I wear it for every game? Maybe this would, like, if they win this game, maybe I will.
Becomes a tradition.
It will become a tradition.
It spells howdy.
Cowboy rule, but we live in Texas. It's hot all the time, so it's felt when it's cold. Straws every other time of the year.
Looks good.
Encourage Notre Dame players to get these and wear them on the sideline during the heat.
Oh, he's ready. He's ready to go.
Found it.
Got your winner?
This is called an open crown. This is a pre-shaped. Technically, old Cowboys used to wear open crowns, and however they took their hat off over time, it would just slowly push.
Oh.
Well, I have to ask you, who do you have on Saturday night?
A&L by 100. By 100.
Only in Texas, baby.
And now we're heading to one of the famous spots here in College Station. It's called the Dixie Chicken, and we're about to find out why this place is so popular.
I'll be the judge of that.
Irish invasion.
Why is he here? No, he's just here.
He's wanted to go live rattlesnakes. So sit in that little cubby right there. Because it knows instinctively, it knows when it's going to get fed.
What are you guys known for here? Freddy Burger, so that's what we should be getting.
Matching belts, the L, the
buddy.
S. You got a Howdy belt as well, the boots, the hats. We got outfitted. Such a great time here in Texas A&M and College Station. Just a blast.
And how about the line dancing? We had some fun with that. It was a lot harder than you think it is.
Yeah, I mean, the floor is wet because of the humidity. There's so many people out there. You're trying to get in the groove. You bumping into veterans while you're an amateur out there trying to step with them. It's a great time.
I tried to get Chris Zorich to come line dancing with us, and he was like, "You think I'm getting out there? No way."
Grandpa was sleeping, y'all. That's facts that night. So I can't wait to see the video from that. We've got so much more coming up on Kickoff, y'all. Marcus Freeman's Focus up next.
with the same rich tradition of the Irish.
Wake up the echoes cheering your name.
Send the volley cheer on high.
Shake down the thunder from the sky.
What though the odds be great or small?
Old Notre Dame will win overall. While her loyal sons and daughters
march on to victory.
It's Tim Brown, Heisman Trophy winner, and you're watching ABC57 Kickoff.
You're watching ABC57 Kickoff on the road, presented by Afton Dental, live from College Station with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
You're taking a live look at the Texas A&M football facility. Notre Dame is the higher-ranked team, but odds makers give the Aggies the edge. We'll find out tonight as they face off in the season opener, 7:30 p.m. kickoff right here on ABC 57. I'm Allison Hayes.
And hi, y'all. I'm Vahid Sadrazadeh. We are live right here in front of the biggest stadium in the SEC in the state of Texas. That is Kyle Field, and it will be raucous here in about 8 hours' time.
Yeah, that's right. And the last time we saw Notre Dame on the field, it was in the Sun Bowl, and we weren't sure what to expect come August.
Well, here we are, 8 months later, almost a completely revamped offense, a championship caliber defense for sure, and soaring expectations that have Irish fans everywhere dreaming of that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which is a deep playoff run. 246 days.
It's here, right?
That's how long it's been since Notre Dame has played a competitive football game.
You work about 300 days a year for 12 guaranteed opportunities, and we've finally gotten to game week.
It's safe to say the anticipation and expectations for this team and this season have been elevated. 246 days ago, this Irish team looked very different.
In my 2 years here, out of 52 possible starting lineups with O and D, we've had 39 different starters, different starting lineups.
Coach Freeman specifically talking about his starting offensive line in College Station.
There's one guarantee that the future is uncertain, so everybody on this trip has to be ready for any role.
Gone are All-American and first-round draft picks Joe Alt, running back Audric Estime, and quarterback Sam Hartman. With their departure comes an entirely new offense, under the direction of Mike Denbrock, who is back at Notre Dame for a third time.
Where we're going to be week one and where we're going to be at the end of the season, I hope that you can visibly see how much better they are now than when they started, and I think you can see that from where we were in spring ball to where we are now.
Denbrock will look to open up the passing attack for transfer quarterback Riley Leonard, who has a host of talent on the outside, including Jaden Greathouse and speedster Chris Mitchell.
And they've been making big plays all fall camp. So it's a trust of the coordinator, it's a trust of the quarterback to throw those balls, but also they've earned that trust by the ability to make them.
Even with all of those changes, it's no surprise that if the Irish are to contend for a playoff spot, this pro-style defense, led by Captains Xavier Watts and Benjamin Morrison, will have to set the tone as they've done time and time again.
People name systems whatever they want to name them. That's immaterial to me. What's important is that do we believe in what we're teaching every day and, trying to fight that chasm, between goals and outcome.
It's a great opportunity to face a great opponent, to see how good your program is week one.
It's true, 246 days is a long time to wait. But for the Irish, maybe the real number to watch is 112, the total number of days between now and a potential first-round home playoff game at Notre Dame Stadium.
We are going to do everything in our power to make sure we're ready to win this game. That's what you do, right? You get 12 guaranteed opportunities, and I don't care who the opponent is.
Only then will we know if the offseason has been worth the wait.
You continue to preach that at the end of the day, it's still 120 by 53 in the third. They got to do it when it matters, right? And you can do it in practice, but you got to do it when it matters versus an opponent. And we won't know that answer until we get to Saturday.
Well, there's a new sheriff in town, and it ain't us. It's head coach Marcus Freeman. He wants to lay the law down here starting tonight. You can really hear it in Freeman's voice during that press conference this week. really in midseason urgency type form, Allison. Even though one loss still gets you in the playoffs most likely, he knows the importance of the game and the tone it'll set for his team.
Absolutely, and you can feel that confidence in him a little bit more to start the season, and a lot of that might have to do with the defense he's got this year returning. The game is expected to be low scoring, one in the trenches. Notre Dame had one of the best defenses in college football last season. The Irish ranked 5th in total defense, allowing just 276 yards per game. Notre Dame also had 31 sacks and 75 tackles for a loss. And this year, Al Golden's defense may be even better. Notre Dame returns 10 players with starting experience. They also picked up 3 transfers with starting experience. And it's not just the starters, it's the backups. Those guys are super talented. They've got experience as well, and we will see them get game time all throughout the season.
Yeah, and one guy who will be in the stands who knows a thing or two about defense, cheering on the Irish, former defensive tackle Kurt Hinish, who now plays just 90 minutes from here with the Houston Texans.
Well, that's right. His younger brother, Donovan, he is an Irish lineman, and he is expected to see the field today, not as a starter, though. Kurt says he is so excited his brother is carrying on the Notre Dame legacy.
I'm so proud to call him my younger brother. Just, you know, what we've been through growing up and everything that he's pushed through. And the player and man that he is today, I've been talking to him throughout camp, and it seems like he's been having a good camp, and I'm really excited to watch him play.
Well, Kurt tells me that nearly a dozen family and friends are making the trip here to root on Donovan and the Irish. And of course, you know, Kurt's getting ready to start his 3rd season with the Houston Texans, but they did have to place him on the short-term injury reserve list. He's working with a strained calf, but he is expecting to come back after that 4-week short-term time runs out.
So great to catch up with former Notre Dame players. And it's no question the Irish defense is dangerous and top-notch, but what about that offensive line? We check in with another Notre Dame legend, former center Jarrett Patterson, to get his thoughts. Plus,
well, the Aggies were hooting and hollering into the early hours. We take you to the midnight yell next. Tradition for all of the night owls out there, the Texas A&M Midnight Yell. It's held the night before home games at Kyle Field. The goal is to get the 12th man pumped up for game day. The Yell leaders are 5 upperclassmen elected by the student body. The Yell leaders lead the crowd in chants and the singing of the war hymn. And the Midnight Yell started back in 1931 and has been going strong ever since.
well, Notre Dame has long been considered O-line U, but for the 3rd time in program history, a true freshman will start in the opener tonight. Anthony Knapp getting the call at left tackle. Sam Pendleton will line up at left guard. Ashton Craig at center. Billy Schroth at right guard. And Emil Wagner is the right tackle. Some surprises in there, Allison.
Yeah, and this O-line has just 30 combined appearances and only 6 career starts. But quarterback Riley Leonard told us he's confident they'll get the job done.
Notre Dame, it's the mecca of offensive linemen in college football. So anybody who's going to be blocked for me on Saturdays is going to be the best of the best. That's who we recruit here. They're going to be great men. They're going to be fully prepared. They're going to be able to get the job done. So, it's Notre Dame. That's what we do. Is we run the ball and we protect the quarterback.
Well, that's what you want to hear your quarterback say, but the reality of it is this is definitely one of the most intriguing, maybe a little bit scary storylines, I think, of the season is just how does that inexperience play out? Can they handle miscommunication? Will there be bad snaps? We're going to see that.
Well, it's at the blind side too, right? And so when he drops back to pass, is he going to feel that pressure, especially in this loud environment tonight?
But Coach picked the most talented players. They had guys with more experience. These young guys won out the job, so we trust in Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, former Notre Dame offensive lineman Jarrett Patterson is currently the starting center for the Houston Texans.
Well, that's right. I had a chance to talk with Jarrett and get his thoughts on the Notre Dame O-line and about his career in the NFL.
I think there's a lot of excitement compared to this time, when I was here last year in Houston. There's a lot more excitement for the team this year. The expectations are significantly higher, and I think the team we have it's a really exciting team. And you look on paper, all the names we have and the guys we brought in, like there's a lot of excitement around here. There's a buzz, and people can't wait for the opener in 2 weeks against Chicago.
And just to have the run that you guys have and had last season and to be building upon that, just how do you see things sort of coming together as you guys get set to kick off this new season?
Yeah, I think it always comes down to that, working hard doesn't guarantee anything, especially in this game, but it helps you, we have the pieces in place and you have the preparation. Really, it matters is the intent of your preparation. So for us as training camp, it's really about being intent and knowing that, we have a tough schedule this year, and just because we work hard doesn't guarantee any wins. So we know when we come on Sundays or Monday, Thursday, whatever day we're playing on, that, when we go out there, we have to be able to execute together.
You have a pretty important job in terms of protecting and your quarterback, CJ Stroud. What can you say about him and his level of talent?
Yeah, I mean, just overall how he is as a person. Like, people always ask me, well, how is he? And I'm like, everything you see in the interviews, him talking, the clips you see on social media, like that's really who he is as a person and a teammate. So for him, it's not an act. Like, that's truly who he is. That's what he believes in. He's a man of faith, which, we absolutely love. And just seeing him like grow and like the leader he is and the past year and being able to get to know him, like, it's really cool. Especially we have someone back there who's a game changer like him.
When you look back at your time at Notre Dame, of course, it's sort of been known now as O-line University. How much did your time in South Bend help prepare you for the NFL?
A ton. I mean, the quality of the players we had competing against each other every day in practice, and especially the last couple of years there, especially my last year with Freeman and how he likes to run practices. They're physical and challenging. Like, that really prepared me like what to expect, especially here in Houston. Like, we practice hard in training camp and get after it, and it's very similar to what Freeman was doing, and that really helped me transition over. And of course, with the workload of courses and class at Notre Dame, being able to transition that and studying an NFL playbook and learning a whole new offense, that transition was seamless for me.
And I just want to get your opinion. I know you're not an analyst or anything like that, but you have experience. You were a Notre Dame offensive lineman. Looking at Notre Dame's O-line this year, and they're bringing in a lot of inexperience. These young guys have a pretty tough test looking ahead at college or at Texas A&M, of course, on Saturday.
Yeah, I think for them, the good thing, the way I see it is, I know they have, two young guys on the left side starting tomorrow night. And I think for them, what they need to realize is in their minds, the expectations are probably significantly high. They want to go out and play perfect. But they got to realize they're so young, they need to go out there and not realize there's really no pressure on them. I mean, they're 18, 19 years old playing against a really good quality defense. They don't need to freak out if they get beat over one play. They don't need to be perfect tomorrow. They just need to be assignment sound, don't commit any careless penalties, and just play hard. And that'll get the job done tomorrow night. And I think for them, the key is be Ashton in the middle, keeping the guys together. It's going to be, college game day. It's a whole new coaching staff, new this, new that. So there's a ton of excitement around in College Station, but for them, they just got to handle the first, couple possessions of the game, and after that, just play ball and just let it loose.
I don't know about no pressure at all on the young guys, but great advice, and love catching up with Jarrett. He's not the only Irish player playing for the Houston Texans right now. Of course, Blake Fisher, he also is on that O-line. He was a second round of last year's NFL draft. And also Kurt Hinish, of course, we talked to him earlier in the show. He's a defensive tackle for the Texans.
And if you want to catch the latest on all these interviews, go to our website, ABC57.com. The odds are slightly against Notre Dame tonight. So where should you put your money? We take you inside the lines, plus our final predictions coming up next from College Station.
Meteorologist Dave Caulfield here. Temperatures throughout the game. The big one between the Irish and the Aggies at Kyle Field in College Station, Texas, in the 80s. So a little bit below normal for Texas standards, but feels like temperatures still could be in the 90s with that humidity remaining high throughout the evening hours. We just don't want to see any rain showers because it could impact the game, but also there's a bit of an interesting history with rain when it comes to true road openers for Notre Dame. So 4 true road openers in the last 10 years for the Irish. Of course, Ohio State in 2022, Florida State, Louisville, and Texas back in 2016. Where at least a trace of rain fell, the Irish have lost, both in rather close scores. But when it's been dry, Notre Dame has come out victorious. So maybe we'll see if that holds true this time if there's no rain at College Station.
Well, it's certainly humid, but this game is going to be hot, and the Aggies, a slight favorite. Levon, who you got?
Well, listen, this is a tough game to bet on for all the reasons that we mentioned this entire show, the inexperience of the offensive line, very good defenses. So for that sake, I ran a poll on Facebook and Twitter, and most of our voters, they voted on Notre Dame plus 2.5. I do want to mention our night team anchor, Tim Spears, took Texas A&M minus 2.5. We'll discuss that when we get back to South Bend. But I think if you want to take Notre Dame plus 2.5, just take them to win straight up. You win more money that way. The value is there. Now, if you ask me what I like in this game, I'm locking in the under 46.5. There's not going to be a ton of scoring in this game. Take it slow. New offense is going to be tough to break into this game. It's week 1. You don't expect too much.
Well, it seems like a pretty safe bet. What if you want to win more moolah? I'm always interested in more money.
Well, you know, with gamblers, we like to get greedy, right? You got to do something to give yourself a chance to make a couple extra $100, here and there. So Levon's parlay, I didn't leave South Bend without it. It's down here in College Station, baby. So here's what I love when it comes to the parlay. For Notre Dame and Texas A&M, first half under 23.5 points. Again, new offensive coordinators, young teams, and it's week 1 again, but the one I love the most on this parlay is going to be the first drive result for Notre Dame. I'm looking at Notre Dame to get a field goal attempt on their first drive of this matchup, and I say that because if you look back into last season in the game against Duke, against a tough team in a crazy environment, hostility against Mike Elko, including Notre Dame. On that first drive, they did a fake punt on 4th and 4, direct snap to Jeremiah Love. It set him up for a touchdown. I don't think it'd be a touchdown tonight in this tough environment. But Mitch Jeter, your name will be called early on the first drive here against Texas A&M. Lock it in, and you don't have to wait until the end of the game to win your money.
Awesome.
All right.
A lot of information, but as long as I have Levon's parlays, I'm all set.
Right, now I want to know, let's get our predictions going
Let's
here.
do it.
So to start us off, who do you guys have for the first score? Who's going to score first and how? I'll start it off. I'm saying Riley Leonard. He's going to use those feet. That's what he's known for. He's going to break through that line and score.
Well, mine is sure. I just told you Mitch Jeter is going to be called upon very early on the field goal attempt. Early in this game, he's going to nail it.
The speedster on the outside. He's gone. Chris Mitchell, baby. A deep one to Chris Mitchell. I say he scores first.
All right, now next up, how about the defense? We know this is going to be a defensive-minded game. I'm going with the big defensive play, the first one of the game. Oh, you're not going to like this. Nick Scorton, he is going to get a sack on Riley Leonard. He's a Purdue transfer and the Big Ten sacks leader coming in.
I'm going with the man in the middle on the defensive line, Howard Cross. Texas A&M scouts called him small, undersized. You're going to see just how small he is in this game. He's going to get to Connor. He's going to get that quarterback sack in this matchup. That's my first defensive turnover.
Well, I have a defensive player making a special teams play, and he has made a ton of them in his career. Jordan Botello with a punt block to get the party started here at Kyle Field.
And finally, what we all want to know, who's going to win? I'm taking the Irish. 24-21 is going to be close, but I think defense wins championships, and I think they got an edge on special teams.
I'm taking Notre Dame in this as well. 24-17. A total of 41 points. I told you earlier, under 46.5, Notre Dame. Come in, get the job done. Let's get back to South Bend with the W.
I like your Jeter pick, but I like him for the game-winning field goal. 28-27, Notre Dame gets it done en route to possibly an undefeated season this year. Could be special.
Guys, we've had a lot of fun here in College Station. I'm loving all the outfits, and we're all in, but I'm over it. Get rid of this cowboy stuff. It's not Halloween. It's Notre Dame football season. I'm taking the Irish. Thank you for watching ABC 57 Kickoff.
All right, and don't forget, 7:30 tonight, the game right here on ABC 57, and we'll have a post-game wrap for you right here and tomorrow morning. So for Levon Whitaker, Allison Hayes, Vahid Sadrzadeh, that's it from College Station. Enjoy the game tonight, and yeehaw, go Irish! We'll see you in the next one.